Hello, everyone. Hope everybody's having a good day. This is just going to be a quick one. I don't have the bluegill watercolor ready yet that I was going to um, paint, but that I sketched last week. But here's a bluegill I actually did in acrylics about a year ago. It's not like anatomically completely correct, but I think it's fun and kind of dramatic and not a bad looking piece. Um, Today I was just gonna quick pop in and do a short video on change. I was on listening to a stream by T3, and if you know who she is, Talking Trash and Truth, wise woman. Been going through some things, but you know, and part of it is the changes that happen, and just it depends on if you're feel in control of them or not, and I kind of want to feel in control of the changes happening to me, but I know a lot of them I am not. I am trying to deal with them, even if they aren't, but you know, yeah, I don't show myself much on here. So if you're expecting to see that, not right now. Okay, I'm just doing this kind of off the cuff, so if I repeat things or miss things, have to go back, that's the way it is. I when I think about change, there's a great quote by the Canadian philosophers Rush and Tom Sawyer. There's a line in there. He knows changes aren't permanent, but change is. There's always change coming. You know, you, you get comfortable in a certain situation, and sooner or later, things are going to change. And I've been trying to get ahead of the change, which you never do. Something's going to come at you and blindside you, and so I just want to talk about that a little. Things that are going on. Freaking little fruit flies that are here. Um, Beginning of this year, I had some changes. Really, the whole last year, I was having things happen that I didn't feel, and that's part of the rheumatoid arthritis coming on, and the pains and people saying, "Oh, you're just getting older," and you're thinking, "Okay, maybe that is." Comes on suddenly, is very random and sporadic, and but finally got, or now, I feel like I'm somewhat not in control of that change, but I understand what's going on. Give a little. I got to show you some stuff here in a little bit. That's why we're doing it this way. Um, but then I had some other changes. Lost a couple friends this year that passed away, and both were older, but one was expected, the other one wasn't. It was quite a surprise. Um, it just those changes of not having that person to just be able to quick go talk to, make a comment to, get their feedback. It's hard, and it doesn't matter. There's even people in your life that you may not be that enamored with, but if they're not there, it changes things. It can be difficult. Also lost one friend to my own kind of. I don't know if I was stupid, but I didn't word things right, and she had gone through a lot of changes herself, and she didn't need my issues and my changes that were happening with me. So I kind of understand that. I don't blame her. You'll never hear me say a bad word about her. Hopefully someday we'll talk again. I have some other things coming up that, I mean, I've been dealing with, and it's just you really have to accept the change, and that's hard for me to do. And we each deal with it in our own way. Some people just love change. They don't want things to be the same. Don't want the status quo. I don't understand those people. I would just soon have it be even day to day, the same kind of. I like ruts. But I'm kind of trying to get out of that. A long time ago, and that's part of what we're going to work on here in the next couple weeks, I hope. I used to make these canvas over wire decoys. They used to be like and I didn't grab the more traditional ones. Just a second, I'll go grab one. There were places along the East Coast that didn't really have a lot of wood. So when in the late 19th, early 20th century, when they were making decoys for market hunting and things like that, they used a lot of just what they could, scrap pieces of wood, and then would put wire over the body. That's what these ribs are. And then you'd stretch canvas over it, seal it up good, and paint it. And so you'd get decoys kind of like this. Actually, one of the first things or like about the third thing I ever really made. What year? I think 2001 that I made this. Glad I had it on that side. It's a little dusty. But then I also made, well, after that, sure I don't, little doves like this, which are kind of fun, cute to make, don't take too long, fun to paint. And, I don't know, they look good on a mantle or something. Got a couple different ones here. There's one that doesn't have the stick for it. But I've made quite a few of them, a couple dozen at least, I think, over the years. Given away as gifts, sold some. Well, I think this has been 6, 7 years, probably 6 years ago. I cut out to do, if you know what a ringneck pheasant is, state bird of South Dakota. And you don't use decoys for them, but I just thought it would look neat to have one, so I cut out a whole thing for it and marked it out where I was going to put the wires and have the canvas for it. They have a big long tail, so that goes in like that. But it's been sitting there, and I've been looking at it for fun. What had happened was I cut this all out, was gonna build it and make it, and there was a friend that I thought would really enjoy seeing it. That he liked these old type of crafts, and he liked pheasants, and I thought he would really like to see it. Well, shortly after I got this all in the works, he tragically suddenly passed away. A horrible accident. And it was very hard for me to think of finishing this without him being able to jokingly criticize me or, giving me jabs about it or complimenting me because he would have, but he would have given me some jabs too. And just not having that, that change was so big that it just stalled everything in what I wanted to do. I barely started it and just decided, no, it was too much to face. Oh, great. Another one of my problems now too. We'll talk about that sometime. But it was just too much to face. So it sat in my work area for like 6 years now. Yeah, he passed away in November of 2019. He was a very loud guy. He let you know what his opinion was, but he could be very kind, helpful, supportive, and I really missed him. Still think of him often, and that's the kind of thing that I want to think about him, but I want to think about him wanting me to finish this. That I need to kind of change my mindset to get to where I finish things. I do what is good for me too. You gotta face some things. There's been a lot that I've had to face lately. There's been physical things, there's been emotional things. Some of it I'll talk about freely. The rheumatoid arthritis, that's easy to talk about. A couple of the others are hard to talk about. I mean, you can see I have movements. Hopefully, I'll get that figured out someday. We're working on that. There's some emotional things that have just been hard this year. But that's kind of why I'm trying to do this. Do some things that are outside my comfort zone, face some realities. But things change. And I don't have control over most of them. What few things I have control over, I need to start to set as a priority for me to face them, get them done, work on it. So that's the journey we are on. We're all on it in some way or another. We'll see how much I get done. I'll do a lot of this off camera because it can be loud and stupid, but I'll at least give you updates on this. And there's a few things once we get to painting it. Hopefully that'll work good. Oh, and I gotta get a picture of that dog I finished. Forgot to get that on this computer, so I can't share that with you now. But I'll get that on the next video. I just thought I'd drop in quick and give you an update on what I'm thinking and doing and planning. I hope you can plan something in the future for yourself. Do something that faces some of your own fears, some of your own sadness, faces those changes that we all have in front of us. Just want to remind you, it's a wonderful world out there. Till next time.